Hello folks, this is Jeff Phillips with SmokeandMeat.com, and today we are going to be making barbecue pizza. I like to use a pizza dough by Vivian Bouquet Farr. You can also use your own recipe if you have one. You can also use something store-bought if you want to do that. But I'm really excited about this pizza we're going to make, so let's get after it. To get started, we're going to add our yeast to the bowl. Now this is active dry yeast. We're going to add 1 1/4 teaspoons. So there was 1 teaspoon and 1/4 teaspoon. And then we're going to feed it a 1/2 teaspoon of sugar. And then, now I have got 1 cup of water here, and it's 110 degrees. I just measured it. And we're going to pour that right over the yeast. Now we're going to stir this yeast around to dissolve it. You can use a whisk or a fork, whatever works for you. I'm just going to make sure it's dissolved. Then we're going to let it do its thing. That's about all you need right there. Now we're going to leave that for 10 minutes. We'll be ready to make some dough here in just a few minutes. All right, this yeast has done its thing, and we are ready to continue. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of sea salt. You can also use table salt if you prefer. Just going to add that in. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Add that in. And I've got my flour already measured out. This is 2 1/4 cups of unbleached bread flour. I use the King Authors. That's what I like. You can also use another type of bread flour if you've got your favorite. I'm just gonna add in the flour, and we are ready to start mixing. We're just going to combine this until it starts getting a dough-like consistency. I just have my own method here. I turn the bowl and just kind of combine the liquid with the flour. Almost ready. Okay, that's pretty good right there. Pretty good. I'm gonna get this dough off the spoon as good as I can. And we are done with that. Now, I'm going to flour my hands just a little bit. I'm also going to lightly flour my work surface just a little bit. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the dough just a little bit with my hands. Now, this is a little sticky, and that's exactly what you're looking for. See if I can add a little of that extra back in. All right. That is really sticky. Okay. Now we're going to start the kneading process. Just push, back, push, turn, push, 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 rotate 1/4 turn, push, push. That's a little bit sticky. I'm going to get a little bit of this flour on my hands. I'm going to get a little extra flour here. You kind of get a feel for how sticky it should be. That's a little bit more sticky than it should be. I may have more flour in the bowl here. There we go. So push, push, rotate. I've found out that the faster I go with this, the less sticky it is. And it gets less sticky as you go along. That's feeling a lot better. Now I'm going to knead this just like this for about 8 to 10 minutes. You can use your KitchenAid mixer if you want to with a dough hook. I like to do it by hand, but that's just me. This is a great way to take out your frustrations. All right, let's check the elastic feel of it. See how it's kind of springing back when I press on it? That's pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to form this into a ball. And I'm just going to put it back into that bowl it came out of. I'm going to get some of this extra stuff out. I'm going to roll it around in that, and that uses up some of that extra flour to lightly dust it. And I'm just going to set it right in my bowl, and we're going to cover this with plastic wrap and set it in a warm place. Now I usually put the dough in the garage on top of our garage fridge out there, but you can also set it on top of the stove if you want to. You can also turn your oven on to 200 degrees and let it preheat for a few minutes, and then turn your oven off and set the bowl inside the oven. So we're just gonna cover it with our plastic wrap. I'm going to go place this on top of the fridge in the garage, and we'll let that sit for 1 hour, and we'll show you what it looks like when we're done with that. All right, we just brought our dough in from out of the garage. I had it sitting on top of the fridge out there. It was nice and warm, and it's been rising for 1 hour. You can see how the plastic wrap is all pushed up from the air and the gases that's built up in there. Let's take this plastic wrap off and get a look at it. That dough has risen at least twice the size, if not a little more. And we're getting ready to punch this down, and we're going to take it out and divide it. So this is the fun part. You just give it a good punch, kind of gets some of the air out of that. I'm going to get some flour here on my hands mainly, and a little bit on the work surface. I'm not going to use much. I'm going to the dough is a little bit sticky, which is what we want. Just going to release that from the bowl. Once you get it released, I'm going to lay it on my work surface here, and we're going to just basically cut it in half. Looks like about half right there. And now each one of these is going to be made into a ball. I just kind of form it into a ball with my hands, pull everything under. And then I'm going to place that ball into a gallon-size Ziploc bag right in the center. And I'm not going to press the air out. I'm just going to zip it closed, and we'll do the same thing with the other one. Get it ready. Now the other dough ball. Just kind of try to pull everything to the bottom so that it's smooth on top. Put that into a, I am going to add a little bit of flour. You don't want to add much flour to this, but I do want to add a little bit. That'll help with the sticking. We're going to place this in the fridge for at least 3 hours, and that's what we call a cool rise. This will continue to expand, continue to rise. I really like to do this overnight for, 10, 12 hours. But 3 hours is minimum. You can make these as much as 36 hours ahead of time and leave them in the fridge. And you don't take it out until you're ready to stretch your dough and make your pizza. So we're going to go place these in the fridge, and we'll be back when the dough is ready to stretch. We just got these out of the fridge. These have been doing the cool rise for about 5 hours, and as you can see, they've risen even more. I'm going to get some flour on my hands, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and flour my pizza peel here. This should be good. Now let's okay. See that? Now we are ready to, let me get some more flour here. Make sure my hands are not going to stick to it too awful bad. It's still nice and sticky the way it's supposed to be. Now I'm going to grab this just like I grab a steering wheel of a car, and we're just going to kind of turn it and stretch it as we go. Now I've seen a lot of pizza dough recipes that recommend you let the dough come to room temperature before you do this stretching. And you really don't need to do that. Your hands are warming this dough up as you go. So this dough works best if you just pull it right out of the fridge when you're ready to use it. And we're going to stretch this out to about 12 inches this time, 12 to 13 inches. You can actually do up to a 16-inch pizza with this size of a dough ball. I'm hanging on a little closer to the edge now because that's the thickest area. And the weight of the dough is what's doing the stretching. And when I think this is about the right size, we're going to lay it on our board. That's pretty good right there. See how thin that is? We're going to go ahead and lay that on our board, and we'll stretch it into we'll make a more rounder of a shape. This is artisan pizza, so you don't really have to, it doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, it's better if it's not. I'm just going to go around here and stretch it just a little more. I want it to be about the size of that pizza peel. I'm using the Camp Chef pizza oven with the Versatop grill, and it works best with about a 12-inch pizza. All right, we're going to leave it just about that. I think that looks really good. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to brush just a little bit of oil on the dough. I'm just going to something like that. I'm not going to get too crazy with it. Okay, we're gonna leave it at that. All right. Now, instead of pizza sauce, since this is a barbecue pizza, instead of pizza sauce, I'm going to use my barbecue sauce. This is Jeff's Original Barbecue Sauce. You can get this at thinbluefoods.com. If you have your own favorites, you can use that as well. I use about a half cup, but no reason to measure. About like that. And I just use a spoon to kind of spread that out. You can use more or less depending on how much you like sauce. Spread it out and leave about 3/4 of an inch on the edges where you don't put sauce. Actually, I'm going to use just a little more of that. And that's good right there. Okay. Now, I have fresh mozzarella cheese. There's really not any right or wrong way to do this, as far as I'm concerned. I like a lot of cheese, but you do you. All right. Now I've got some pulled pork here that I made just the other day, and we're going to be using that. I smoked this, and it's going to really be good. Just kind of get it all over. That's probably pretty good. I like a lot of meat. Okay. Now I've got some onions. These are just red julienne onions. That'll work. All right, I've also got some shredded cheddar here. I'm just going to make little piles here.
Excuse me. Maybe say that part again.
I like the mozzarella to be the main focus, but the cheddar kind of gives it little pops of flavor and color. That'll work. I also found these fresh mozzarella pearls at the store. You can also use these. If you really load up your pizza with a lot of vegetables, you can use these to go right on top and add a little more cheese. I don't think we really need it for this one because I'm not going to load it down real heavy, but I'll just add a few just to show them to you. It's just whatever you like. I really like jalapenos, so we're going to lay these all around. Nice color, nice flavor. I think that looks pretty good. Now we're getting ready to go put this pizza in the pizza oven, and I'm going to be flicking it forward and back to get this to slide out onto the pizza stone. So what I like to do that helps me to make sure my toppings don't go flying everywhere is I like to press them down just a little bit. And I guess if I was a pro, I wouldn't need to do this, but I'm not a pro. I'm just learning and still learning. And I just kind of make sure everything's well seated. And I recommend you do the same until you get really good at that pizza peel. So let's go put this in the oven. This is the Camp Chef Versatop Grill. This comes with a flat top griddle, and you can remove the griddle, and this is one of the accessories that sits right on top of that burner. This is the pizza oven with the pizza stone, and as you can see, I've used it quite a bit. Now, I've got this thing running at about, it's got a thermometer right on top. It's at about 570 right now. I use a ThermoWorks infrared thermometer to test the stone, and it's reading about 590. So anywhere between 550 and 600 is where I like to run. And we're going to go ahead and get this in here. Not too bad. Just brought our pizza in. Always transfer your pizza to a separate cutting board. Don't slice the pizza on your peel because that makes cut marks, and those will grab at the dough when you're trying to get it off the peel onto your stone. So just transfer it to a separate cutting board. And then we'll just kind of give it some slices here. There we go. It's a good looking pizza. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today as I cooked up this barbecue pizza on the Camp Chef Versatop Grill with the pizza oven accessory. This is something you can do at your home. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and don't forget to ring the bell. This is Jeff Phillips with SmokeandMeat.com, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.